People were killed at a grocery store, including a
Early
police
this
officer
morning,
who was
police
the
said
first
they were
to
still
arrive on
trying
the
to
scene.
find the suspect.
21-year-old man
More
is
details
being
are expected at a press conference later.
The main entrance of
The huge problem of gun violence.
Working to uncover a motive for the massacre of 10 people in Venice. Police say the suspected gunman.
647 gunman shooting just 12 hours after the massacre.
when a gunman
opened fire and 10 injured.
Rolling. Roll camera 2.
Rolling.
Mark it.
Troubled Heart, Slate 10, take 1.
And when did you first meet him?
We went to the same secondary school. I probably met him in first year, I'd say, but he didn't talk much.
I transferred to a school in third year. He was the only one who really made any attempt to be friends with me. So we were just sort of immediately friends.
What was he like?
Quiet. He stayed by himself and sat at the back all the time. We all had our own groups, but he wasn't a part of any of them, though.
He was alright. He liked video games, so did I. That was basically the first thing he asked me, if I played Skyrim. We would go over to my house a lot, play video games, talk about dumb shit. Talk about random stuff. Do you want me to say that again?
Talking to him just felt different than other people, like he had a different rhythm or something. Not better or worse, really. I just don't think he knew how to get on with people, but he was harmless enough. Back then, I mean.
The world was so messed up to us. We used to talk about how unfair life was. We used to say how we either had to move away or jump off a bridge. I thought it was a joke.
It wasn't?
I think he thought about it a lot.
Looking back, I think he was lonely. I only ever went to his house once to finish off a history project, and he still seemed uncomfortable even there. I remember he said something to me like, "Oh, you're lucky, girls like you." And I was a bit embarrassed, and I was trying to be like, "Oh no, you just have to try harder," but he laughed it off. I think about that a lot now. There was a point towards the end of secondary school where he just started to disappear more. He stopped showing up as much. And when he did, he was always late.
Did you ever talk to him about that?
Oh, no. After all that, I unfollowed him on Instagram and all that stuff. He started posting some weird things.
No, I think he took it too far. It's not wrong to say that there are problems in the world. I think feminism has done a lot more harm to men and women.
What do you mean by that?
There's a natural order to things. Society has been more or less organized the same for thousands of years. Why stop now?
So you agree with him? So you don't think his beliefs had anything to do with what he did?
No. I think he was sick in the head. And I think he got messed up by getting rejected.
Hey, there you are. Would you be able to go as soon as possible? The studio only gave us a couple of hours and we're kind of eating into it already.
Yeah, I can go right now. One thing, I don't want to have my face shown.
What?
You can blur my face or use a shadow or have a voiceover, but I want no part of my identity except for my story in this.
That's not what we agreed on.
I'm sorry, I'm not doing it then.
No. Look, maybe I can talk to lighting and we can silhouette you instead. That way your face won't be visible at all. Does that work?
Sure.
You head inside and we'll get you all set up.
How did you know?
We lived near each other and we used to hang out when we were younger. Not many kids lived where we grew up.
Were you close?
For a time, sure. A long time ago.
What did you think of him?
He was weird, but he wasn't bad. I didn't like to spend a lot of time with him.
Why not?
He was a bit intense. And he wanted to be closer to me than he was.
What makes you say that?
Because he all but told me, constantly. He'd ask me to hang out with him after school, to study, go out for dinner, stuff like that.
And what did you say?
No, obviously. He wasn't my friend. I didn't want to be his.
And when was the last time you saw him?
Near the end of secondary school. We hadn't spoken for a while, and all of a sudden he sent me this long text full of paragraphs that said how he wanted us to be together, more than that. I just said I didn't feel that way. What else could you say, you know? Anyway, later on he came to my house and he was arguing with me about everything. I just shut the door in his face and I eventually let him go away. And that was the end of that.
Do you regret how that turned out?
Regret? What do you mean?
Do you think it could have turned out differently?
No. He was delusional. He thought he was in love with me and he didn't even know who I was. Do you really expect me to be the keeper of his mental health, for Christ's sake? What are you trying to imply here? Are you trying to suggest that maybe I was at fault for what he did? Do you know what? No. This is over. Goodbye.
Hold on.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, okay?
Sorry.
How can you not just let me say what I want to say without jumping to a conclusion?
Okay.
It wasn't my fault.
That's not what I'm trying to do, but the questions have to be asked.
Do they?
Can I convince you to come back in?
Can you give me a minute to think about it?
Absolutely. No problem at all. Everybody take 5, house lights up. Look, come back in, sit down and make yourself comfortable. Would you like a cup of tea or coffee?
Tea. Thanks.